John Waite, Missing You. I ain't missing you at all. Stay on RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a good one. I got a request here from one of our viewers. They did it in the comments section, so it's not a secret, but needless to say, I generally don't share who it is. You guys can figure it out if it's out there. Anywho, it's called Is Missing Someone Okay? Their specific question had to do with a couple things. One, productive things to do when we are missing somebody, right? You're having one of those moments, kind of bumming out a little bit. So-and-so's maybe on vacation, they're maybe away on a work trip, so they're not able to kind of correspond as often, or maybe there were certain times of day where you knew they took a break, and so they were always shooting you a little text message or whatever the case is, right? So how do we deal with these moments when we're feeling that sort of feeling of missing? And the second part of the question, which we'll be covering both of these basically, is missing someone okay? So let's tackle that first part first. Is missing someone okay? Depends. It truly depends. It depends always, and really, as a general rule with anything that you're trying to figure out, is this okay? Is it okay I feel this way? Should I keep feeling this way? Is this benefiting me? Kind of two things to continue to really look at. How do you feel about it? How do you feel when you're holding this thought? How do you feel when you are doing whatever it is that you're questioning? Does it feel good, or does it make you feel sort of bummed? Does it make you sad? So there's a big difference there. And sad, we'll try to define that a little better. The other side of it is, are you basically I guess I sort of lost my train of thought. It has to do with the sponsoring thought. So is what's sponsoring the thought positive or negative? Is it what's causing this thought? Is it a plus? Is it also beneficial for you? So let me give a couple examples of what I'm talking about. Missing somebody right now, and when I think about it, like I'll use my significant person, right? So when I miss her, when I'm just like, I'd really love to see you, I'd really love to be there, that whole thought process gets me to a place where I'm thinking of her, I'm loving her, I'm imagining being with her, and that thought process takes me down a very cheerful place, a very happy place. And I usually follow up with, something along the lines of, it's going to be great, we're getting together, this is happening, this is all, just kind of those follow-up positive sorts of thoughts. But when I think of missing her, I connect with the love I have for her, and that is certainly a positive experience. It causes me to feel good, causes me to feel warm and glowy on the inside. So these kinds of scenarios are always a positive. If it's bringing positive feelings, positive thoughts, happy vibrations, I don't want to overuse the word positive, but if it's getting you in touch with that good place, that is really that unity, that thing that's really bound you two together, that makes it so profound, then that is a great thing. But the other side of that is if I'm thinking about my significant someone and I'm like, she's just missing be with you, you're probably going to be talking to someone else, you're probably not even thinking about me right now, you're probably just doing your own thing, just being all happy, and God, I miss what we used to have. I miss what we used to do. I miss the conversations we had. Woe is me. Yeah, not good. That's not taking you down a positive place. So in those cases, not good. So I'm kind of going to break these concepts into good and bad, right? You got the good relationship scenario. This is the ones where maybe you guys are somewhat close. Maybe you talk on a regular basis. You're just not together yet. You guys are in different cities, maybe you're, whatever the reason is that you're not together, it's something that's surmountable at some point, but really you've got like a verbal relationship going, you text, you talk, it's happening in that degree, it just hasn't really gone to that next level that we would like it to be in. I'm going to lump that as the good scenario. The bad scenario is going to be the cases where, all right, maybe you're in a breakup. All right, and breakups aren't necessarily bad. Again, it comes down to where you're at in this relationship. But if there's bitterness, if we're still having arguments, if we're still getting grumpy with each other, if I'm still finding myself getting angry when they don't text back because they don't say the right thing, because they posted something on Facebook, because all of those kinds of scenarios, I'm going to lump in the bad. And I'm sorry if you fall into that category. I've got productive things that both sides can do. Now, missing someone, again, not in and of itself is a bad thing. It's not necessarily bad. But when it's accompanied with sadness or desperation or any of those sorts of things, it's not a good thing. So longing can be out of desire, right? When you long to be with someone, I miss you, I long to be with you, that's okay. If it's out of desperation, I have to have this in order to be happy, in order to feel fulfilled, in order to be whatever. If that is a requirement for you to be in a place that's good, that's a problem. And that's not a healthy place to be coming out of a relationship from, by the way. That's kind of more in that whole needy side of things. And, again, you can still manifest somebody under those circumstances. Might take longer, for sure, right? But on top of that, when you do get together, you might still find that there's some of those karmic things, some of those energetic things that caused you to break up to begin with that are still in existence, that are still there. And if they're still there, you're probably going to have another flare-up. That fight will probably reoccur. If you can get to the bottom of what was causing these issues, then you have a very strong chance of making a difference and giving you guys, and this is more in the breakup scenario, giving you guys a chance at what you truly desire in your heart. What you're truly hoping for is a good, healthy relationship. So that is very, very possible. So sometimes a good way to phrase it maybe, I miss this person right now, but whenever we are both ready for a more loving and wonderful relationship, it will happen. So that's kind of a way to sort of have that missing concept in there, which can be sort of a detrimental sort of word choice. But when you break it into this second, that's how I'm feeling. But that's okay. Things are in process. Things are happening. We are coming together. My journey is bringing me to you, whatever. These are all very, very powerful things. But it's really, really important to remember that two people need to be happy in their own lives, in their own realities. So if you're trying to get with your specific someone and you're not happy in your life as you, or in your life without them, if you don't experience happiness, if you find yourself constantly in sorrow, constantly bummed, constantly frustrated, constantly negative sort of anger, if you're finding yourself in those places, you need to work on the self-love stuff first and foremost, because that energy, those energetics are not helping you. And when you get in a relationship where you've got two half people, essentially, right? Because I need someone else to make me feel full, then you always have this dynamic where they are required to do things in order to feed your happiness. And ultimately what that creates is a scenario where people don't want to keep giving energy away, and they will eventually at some point withdraw. And when that withdrawal occurs, you're going to react. You're going to be angry, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be whatever, and you're going to possibly lash out at this individual. And the second you do, they'll throw up their blocks because it's like, on top of not wanting to feed you energy to keep you happy, now you're angry at me and you're causing me to give you more energy. Forget it. I'm done. It doesn't work. It's not a healthy relationship. That's definitely not taking you in the direction you're wanting. Yes, I know you miss this person. Yes, I know you wish to be with this person with all of your heart, might, and everything. But if you're not in a healthy place for a relationship, you're likely going to circle back around and have similar problems. That's what's tough about breakups, one of the primary things. So, making sure you're happy together, making sure you're happy by yourself and that the person you're loving is happy by themselves when you finally come together. It's an amazing thing because it's two happy people sharing their lives together, and that is amazing. That is what most of us, I hope, really intend. Like, that's our intention. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're going for. So if you're at one of those places where you're feeling sadness or you're having thoughts such as, this is over between us, I want to cry because I miss him, and I don't think we will ever be together again, those are thoughts that you need to get rid of. Those are the ones that are not okay. They're the ones that, when are related to missing somebody, are more in the negative side. Because as you know, whatever thoughts we have ultimately manifest as our reality. So when you're bummed and missing and assuming all these negative things, that's the power you're putting out there. Or to even bring up the us pushed out, that is what you will experience. So maybe they talk to somebody on Facebook, and maybe it's truly just a friend. Maybe it's truly just a friend, but you're projecting outward. You're pushing yourself out. That's you pushed out. You're going to look at that post and go, oh, he's cheating on me. That's his new girl. That's it. I know it is. I know it is. I talked to his higher self. His higher self told me that's his new girlfriend. You're projecting. You're projecting. That's not real. That's why it's difficult to read sometimes the higher self thing. It's good to talk to him, but when you're trying to get information back and you're not in a good place, you're just getting your own filters. It's really challenging to kind of clear that up enough to where you're kind of getting a solid channel with that individual. So these are things we work on. But again, you got to look at the sponsoring thoughts. You got to look at where you're coming from in your heart. And if you're coming from a pure place, you expect more pure things. If you're coming from a very damaged, hurt, sad place, your filter is going to override any sort of message that you might be getting from their higher self. You're going to read it as you pushed out. Or you're going to see something there that's maybe not there because you want so badly to believe it that it's really hard to look at things objectively. I'm not trying to make this more confusing on the whole us pushed out thought transmission, talking to our higher selves. I'm just saying, because I've gotten a lot of questions about, that aspect. And I'll do more shows on higher self and all that kind of stuff. It's a great topic, and I think it's super important for all of us. But again, things to kind of keep in mind when it comes to missing your specific someone. Again, depends where you're coming from. Now, are there some good things that you can do when you're missing someone, right? And maybe they're going to be out of town. There's no way you're going to hear from them. Maybe they're traveling. They're on a red eye. They're not going to call you from the plane, just for any number of reasons, right? So what are some positive things to do? Well, if you're in the good place, go back to what I was defining earlier, you could do something fun like maybe write them a poem, right? Maybe you could put together a playlist of favorite music between you guys. Maybe hop on YouTube and start finding all sorts of interesting songs that you love and he loves or that you'd like to share with him, and create a playlist on your own channel of all these different songs and share that playlist with him. And then that way he can listen to these things maybe in his hotel room, right? Throw in his headphones while he's working out in the morning, just have that little YouTube playlist on. And since it's videos, it's kind of cool because maybe you can share some of the specific videos that meant something to you, right? So you've always got that kind of that option. Another thing, maybe if you'd like, plan your home. Plan your special home together. Start creating a vision notebook or a vision board, right, of the different rooms of your house that you're going to have together. The bedroom, the bathrooms, the walk-in closets, the whole 9 yards, all the things that you're hoping to have with this individual. Well, start planning those. Put some time and effort into imagining what that will be like with them. Or even maybe you want to have a family together. Start planning that. Start thinking about where you'd like to live, where you'd like to grow up. Start researching good schools, good elementary schools maybe in your area, or someplace not too terribly far away that's still within where you live, right? But these are good practices, good things that are certainly putting more energy towards manifesting your desire, right? At the same time, it's getting you to connect with the individual. Thought bridge for sure. Talking to their higher self, basically, hey, let's pick a place together. They can sit on your shoulder while you're going through it and doing it. So it gets you, again, working towards a positive outcome that affects both of you. If you're maybe in one of those places that's a little more challenged, or the bad place, as I'd like to think, or where you're maybe in a little more of a needy place, a little more of an angry place, a little more of a not so happy by myself, then in your case, and this is what I've asked a lot of people when they have issues like this, where they kind of get stuck into negative thought behaviors, negative thought patterns, I start asking questions like, what do you love? Not them, not your significant person. Leave them off the plate. I want 3 things that you love doing. What do you enjoy? What do you enjoy doing? Do you like going to the beach? Do you like going on walks? Do you like reading? Do you like listening to music? Do you like drawing? Do you like writing journals? Now, if you're going to write a journal, I don't necessarily recommend you write about how sad and bummed you are. That's not necessarily a positive use of a journal. Positive use of a journal in this case, I would think, is thinking about things that you would like to see improve about yourself. Focus on the things that you like doing. Focus on the things that make you happy, not your significant person. They are not allowed to even be on that process. They are not allowed. Leave them out of it. I know you like them. I know you love them. I know they make you happy. That's not okay. That's the wrong answer. The right answer is going to the beach, taking long walks, cooking dinner, hanging out with friends, hanging out with family, hanging out with my niece, whatever. Whatever your things hopefully are that bring and produce happiness in your life, these are the things you want to focus on. These are the things that you want to spend time thinking about instead of sort of the negative feelings or the damaging feelings for that matter, or the things that could potentially manifest themselves as something bad. So try to get yourself focused on things that are good. Just because you're not first off, if you're going to think of your significant someone and you're going to do it in a bad way, you're hurting yourself. So if you're on this, but what if I'm not using the time to think about them? Well, if you're using the time poorly, you're doing more damage than good. Focusing on things that'll get your energy good will definitely work in more harmoniously, for sure, with what you're attempting to manifest. I hope that makes sense to everybody out there. So again, we've given you some great practices for how to deal with missing somebody. We've certainly decided, probably wrong word, but we've discussed kind of how missing can be good or bad. And certainly if there's a variant, if you're in the middle, then maybe try to figure out which way you want to get yourself leaning, which one of these techniques you sort of more associate with currently. And if you were someone that maybe was having a more of a negative cycle, but you've been working on yourself a lot, well, you might be more in the middle. Keep doing what you've been doing. You're going to get yourself over to that positive side, and then you're good. So again, all these things, relationships are about developing and growing ourselves. We need to remember that. It's so key. That is why they are a bigger deal than a lot of other things. Manifesting a parking place doesn't matter. Manifesting a bottle of water, a $5 bill, to even a $100 bill doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's inconsequential. But a relationship is all about us and another person and our lives and our development and our soul growth. It's very important. It's a huge deal. And not trying to make it sound bigger than it is, but it is. And that's why for a lot of cases, there's a little more of that emotional attachment to it. There's a little more of that challenge that comes to manifesting our specific person or just a relationship in general, a healthy, good, happy relationship. Hopefully this makes sense to all of you. And thank you, viewer, by the way, for the great suggestion, because I think that's an awesome question that a lot of people have. I'd be really curious to see how this one plays out and what sorts of comments we get. But certainly kind of share some of the positive things you do when you're having one of these moments and you're missing your significant someone and you're trying to find a way to keep yourself busy. These are the perfect comments to share with other people. And if by chance you haven't subscribed at this point, please do so. Please click that little subscribe button in the bottom or at the very end of the video. There's going to be a little headshot, ugly mug of myself. You click on that. That'll also allow you to subscribe. Always appreciate that stuff. We're going to be going out with a Paul Young song called Every Time You Go Away. It's Dan Radio Style.